Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to our show. Everyone, well, for having a wonderful day on this very early 18th September 2025. One apology. What happened is this phone over here didn't have enough batteries. So, yeah, we're back, baby. We are back, my friends. And we're back with some The Good Place. I'll be honest, it's been a while. It's been 20 minutes, so I'm not sure exactly where we were, but I'm pretty sure I know where we were. Eleanor offers Jason, which is Janu. I don't know if you guys want me to call him Janu or Jason because he is Janu for 2 episodes, and then he becomes Jason for the rest of the show. She offered him to take courses. Now this is really cool because he's offering the course to Eleanor. So Jason is not more work than he already has on his plate. And this is a cool thing too. Now with the last episode, Shitty now has a reason as to why. He wants to prove that his views on morals are justified by saving two hopeless souls rather than being seen as the failure. I don't think he sees himself as a failure. However, I think that he needs reassurance because they feel like the character. Uh, we have the restaurant, which is super cool because this is really cool. Tahani sees that Jason isn't invited, and she's like, "Yo, oh, what the heck?" Okay, I'm recording. Tahani's like, what the heck? My boyfriend isn't invited. That's kind of fucked up. So she's trying to get her boyfriend invited because she wants to be a socialite, right? Um. This is super, 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 super cool. Shitty is pissed off at Eleanor because he think that she broke Jason. So with Jason, what she says, Eleanor, she said, "Screw that jazz. Just be yourself. Be yourself." Which means that Jen will now talk and now we'll do EDM music, which is kind of cool. Oh, the phone is too hot. The phone is too hot. Well, it is to be expected. It's much warmer outside. Plus, plus we got. Well, yeah, this is not the optimal hours to make videos because the sun is really inside the apartment or in the balcony. So Tahani, she sees that Jason is talking and she's super happy. However, this is kind of cool also because I feel like Tahani fell in love with the idea of Janu being like a pious monk and shit like that. I don't think she'll be loving Jason, but hey, what do I know, right? And again, this is a system of soulmate. Shitty when you learn that Eleanor wasn't who she pretended like she was, he wasn't pleased. So it could be the same thing for Tahani. This is really hard to see. This is really hard to see. Okay, so now they're planning to do like okay, well, Eleanor can keep the secret, Jason can. So literally, and it's kind of cool because who motivates Jason to go to the course of Shitty is Eleanor, and it's nice because she see the value in the teaching of Shitty, but it's also super cool because she's like, you know what, we have a really good chance of at least pretending like we belong here, and if we can pretend like we belong here, that maybe along the line we'll be here, right? The goal is still to be in a good place because, and there's this cool thing that I didn't talk about, but I should have talked about. They asked Janet, "Hey Janet, what is it? What does hell sounds like right now?" And Janet make them hear screams of pain, like, "Oh my God, this had two head. This dog has two head." So they don't want to go there. At the end, Jason ends up being part of the program. So Chef Patricia, which is again the restaurant that this is so fucking cool. This is so fucking cool because the restaurant owner, she's like, okay, well, guess what? I made a restaurant and this neighborhood needed a restaurant. I'm literally a chef. So then we learn everybody and how they have. This is kind of nonsensical, but this is kind of cool. They ask everybody, what's this plate it remind you of? What does this plate means for you? And they ask Johnny, and they know that Johnny took a vow of silence But no. So then he talked about a place where you can get wings for free if you show your tits, which is very non-monkey. When I say monkey, I meant monk-ish, but it sounded monkey like the animals, and I was like, oh, that doesn't sound good. So yeah, so she pretends. Then Eleanor, to see the situation, what she does is she go in and she destroy the cake. The cake is Patricia hardest work. She put her soul into it, and then she tells her, "Don't do it. This is something very bad." So because she does it, there's a sinkhole that happen. The sinkhole being once again the glitch. However, this glitch is even better. Why? I can't really see. Okay, I can't really see. And seeing is a huge part of us remembering. Nice. So we had a sinkhole. Now, Michael goes to Tahani and said, listen, some soulmate takes months to connect, so it's not a big deal. And this is super nice because you learn that her problem is she feels lonely. She feels lonely. She gets a backstory. Next episode is a backstory. It's actually quite insightful about the character she is. So Jason comes in and he's like, you know what? This is super cool. He comes in and he's like, I want to learn about ethic. He say ethnics, which is not the right word, but he wants to learn, which is kind of cool. Now, she calls him nerd. You heard her call him nerd. Basically what she does is she said that Chidi is the greatest teacher, but then she's insulting him also. So it's kind of funny because it's kind of like a backhanded compliment, which is kind of funny. That's pretty much it. Episode 5. Alert catastrophe, apocalyptic catastrophe, level 2055. We got our thing stuck, the charger stuck in there. So this is really bad. So there you go. Episode start, we go back to the yogurt place, and this is a really cool moment. I gotta say, the good place doesn't have cold open. I gotta say, I am not that mad about not having cold open. So what happened is they go to the yogurt place, which is the meetup spot, and there's a lot of new flavors. So what she says is that, and this is kind of important because it is so meaningless, but it's so meaningful at the same time. There's so many new flavor because Michael feels bad that the neighborhood goes to shit. So Eleanor, because there's so many new flavor, goes in, and she's like, guess what? I don't know what to choose. So she allows somebody to go before her. And she said, okay, well, this was a really nice thing to do. Now, the reality is she doesn't realize it. It's just natural to her. And this is the important part. It comes naturally to her versus an effort. And she goes in and she's like, the guy says, thank you, Eleanor. That was nice. So she runs to Shitty and said, listen, your course are working. I did that. And he's like, okay, well, where's the yogurt? Because you promised us yogurt. And she's like, I don't want to do it. It's far, man. I'm tired. Do it yourself. Which is not a good thing, but it's true. Giving your place to somebody else, it's super nice. It's super, super nice. This is very, very nice. This is very, very nice. She goes in and she's like, hi, good person. Now we got a course. And again, shitty courses are kind of important because they teach you a lot. We're watching something that is kind of important. The thing that's kind of important is, Eleanor, you see a nice evolution. You see the course she's trying to understand. Now what they're doing is law of equivalence. So, for example, if I do something bad in the world, and if I do something good, it's gonna level up. Now, it's gonna be leveled. But this is actually true, because in the system of Michael, everything that you do has +1 point if it's a nice thing, -1 point if it's a bad thing. So technically speaking, the equivalence is a system that is rightful. You don't get more points for doing something very bad. You don't get +point for getting, well, actually, yeah, you get more points for doing something very good. But a lot of equivalence. And then Chitty's like, no, this is not a good idea because you cannot justify doing a bad action by doing a good action. A bad action is a bad action. And a good action should be put into repairing a bad action, which is brilliant because it is true. If you're doing something good, for example, I said this example before. There's this guy, right? I'm watching TikTok battles. There's this guy who is an asshole. He does drugs. He drinks a lot, right? And he is not like in Quebec. I'm from Quebec, by the way. French Canadian. So he's not liked. But the reality is, he gets a lot of hate, which push him to drink. So is it forgivable? Not really, because he's still fucking up. Now, the cool thing with him is, when you look at his story in the beginning, he was a homeless person that went on TikTok and received a lot of gifts. And thanks to TikTok, he was able to get out of the streets, which is kind of freaking noise. Kind of freaking noise when you think about it. And then there was a homeless person that came. The Good Place asked so many questions, and they got so many stories about this. There's a homeless person that says, "Hey, I'm hungry." Drop the can. We got it. And he says, I understand how you feel. They gave him money, which was a really good action, which pushed the other person, because they're doing a battle, right? So there's two people battling for gift. And it pushed the other person to say, you know what? I'm gonna give money to the homeless people, and he wanted to look good. But the only reason he did that was because the other did it. If the other didn't do it, he would have not done it. So, for example, this is bad. The question of moral is amazing. I had this other friend who he was selfish. He was very self-absorbed, and we were talking about how he was self-absorbed. Said like, no, I'm nice. I'm helping my brother, and I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't count. You're helping your brother because it's your brother. It's not like helping a stranger. You have a relationship with that person. It's not being helpful. It's not selflessness if you know the person. It's not selflessness if you can brag about it after. So yeah, so when you think about it, morale, being a good person is so complex, right? And this is kind of crazy because Jason say, this is super insane because Jason says, example where he snitched on a person, so his boy wouldn't marry her, and because his boy didn't marry her, he was all good for breakdance competition. And this is a stupid example, but Shitty's like, this is really a good example. So this made me laugh. This made me laugh a lot. This episode is called, okay, I already said the name. We have more of Tahani backstory. And this is super, super cool. So what they do is, there's and this is a sad episode for Tahani. So Michael goes in, and there's a catastrophe, which is the sinkhole is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So Tahani, what she does is, now, this is the cool thing. We know why the sinkhole is getting bigger. It's because Eleanor and Jason doesn't belong there, and they're doing some wrongful thing. We don't know if it's caused by Jason or by Eleanor or by the two of them together, right? And Michael leaves behind his computer. So Tahani goes into the computer, and she's the ranking of the good people, like how much good thing people do, right? And she realized that she's very low on the list. So Tahani feels self-conscious, and she wants to do good. Now Tahani is different. You see what I just said about the guy wanted to help homeless people because the other guy did? Tahani wants to do good because her sister was always the favorite child. Her sister was always like, oh my god, what a prodigy. And Tahani, well, she's not that great, right? So she feels like underwhelmed. She feels like underloved. She feels underappreciated. That's what I'm looking for. So this is the reason why Tahani does a lot of things that she does. Although the action isn't genuinely good, it's not genuinely bad. She doesn't come from a place where she's like, fuck this, I'm gonna do this to prove that I'm the best. She does things because deep down she feels like she needs to, which is a problem versus, this is a self problem versus a problem for others. It's a self problem because it's coming from deep rooted issues. This is a way for her to cope. By being overly good, it's a way for her to cope, right? Versus being overly good to look good. This is different. If it's for coping, it's a defensive response. And a defensive response is probably better than an offensive response, right? It makes you really think this show. This is amazing. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I didn't expect The Good Place to be such a good show to recap, but it's a really good show. So then Shitty is tired because he says, Eleanor, I'm seeing progress with you, but I'm supposed to be in heaven too. So this is amazing. This is really good. So Shitty tells Eleanor, like, listen, you're making progress, but I don't feel like I'm enjoying my afterlife. I don't feel like I'm enjoying paradise. See, the last episode is also important because you're basically putting Shitty with a mission, which is to rewrite a book. right? And he wants to rewrite the book. He wants to take time for himself. He deserved that time. So by Eleanor always taking time and always taking time and always taking time, um, Shitty is tired. There's also this case of why is he doing it, right? Does he feel like he's doing it for a purpose? Is there a reward for it? I'm not saying that you should do something for a reward, but I'm saying that if you're doing something, even if it's nice, and the person isn't grateful for what you're doing, what's the point? Do I think that Eleanor is ungrateful? No. Do I think that if she didn't need Shitty, she would be as nice as Shitty as she is? No. I think there's a relationship here, sadly, of Shitty is the best person to help me, so I'll be nice to Shitty. And it isn't necessarily dishonest, but it's not genuine. And that's what I think. So you got we got the backstory of Tahani. Let's say Tahani, and her sister. Her sister, who was such a great person, and this is kind of nuts. This is nuts because, like I said, you realize that Tahani isn't really a bad person. Now, is she a bad person? Well, technically, I don't feel like she's a good person. Because it's always this complex of superiority. It's like, I'm doing so much better than you. And even from the place of, I'm not trying to prove that I'm better than you, by constantly trying to prove yourself, you make other people feel like you're not doing enough, right? For example, right, if somebody, and this is kind of complex, I'm not saying that she is, but she kind of is though. If somebody comes in, right, and say, hey, you know what I did last week? I went to Africa and I built some wells. And like, holy shit, that's kind of cool. That is kind of cool, right? But then you realize, like, oh my God, what have I done to help other people? I'm selfish. But then you realize, and this is very different, there's a level of normal kindness. You don't need to be super kind. A kind person isn't the person that's riddled with selflessness. In my opinion, Shitty is the picture perfect example of what a good person is. Why? Because he's helping Eleanor, but he still wants to have time for himself. He's stressed. He doesn't feel like he's enjoying his time. So yes, it's kind of shitty for Eleanor, but it's Shitty's personal choice. He is selfless, but he's also aware or hyper aware that this is his life, this is his afterlife. You should be able to enjoy it a little bit. So in this case, I do think Shitty is right versus Tahani. And Tahani, when she's you see, when Tahani it's completely different. Tahani, she see that she's low on the score, and she knows the scoreboard for good deeds. And her first answer isn't to question herself, which would be the correct way. Okay, so what am I doing that doesn't make me a good person? What am I doing that I could be doing better? Oh shit, this is way too hot. It's gonna close soon. Ooh, this is gonna close soon. Okay, so I'm gonna be doing it like that for now. I have a plate of cold peas behind, and a plate of cold peas. What it's gonna give us? It's gonna give us some refreshness. Not some refreshness. I'm sorry. It's gonna cool down the phone. So instead of asking herself the question, she's like, okay, well, I need to do nicer. And because she feels like she needs to do nicer, then her being super nice isn't genuine. She's doing it because she feels like she's doing it, you know? She feels like she needs to do it, which at the same time, it's not perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm possibly going to go inside. I got a couple of videos to do, and that's pretty much it. So Eleanor and Shitty goes into a big fight, and they're supposed to stay in. This is super cool. This is super cool because also, Shitty is in the position that he is in because he doesn't feel like Eleanor is his soulmate. So one of the biggest things that he was excited about is, listen, I'm gonna have this perfect life with my soulmate, and this is gonna be good. From now on, it only gets better. Yeah. We're gonna be using this to cool it down. That way we have two things to cool down things. And he doesn't get that. Eleanor kind of took that from him. You know? Eleanor, as much as she is an adorable character, she's detriment to Shitty. She has a bunch of things that he lost. A soulmate, free time, paradise itself. And in this case, you kind of understand Shitty. However, I have to defend Eleanor a little bit. Eleanor didn't ask for help. She didn't ask. Well, she did. I'm sorry. But as I set up for Eleanor, Eleanor is a lot, but she didn't establish clear boundaries, and this is his fault. By establishing clear boundary, for example, saying, "Listen, we're gonna be working from this time to this time. The weekend I'm off." By not establishing boundaries, what ended up happening is in a position where you cannot say no to her, because if you say no to her, she's gonna be like, "What the fuck? What the fork, man?" I want to do the whole recap of The Good Place and not swear. Even this phone is hot, and this phone is also hot. We have battery's good though. Battery's good. This is last episode, so we're good. I got one more video to do after that, and that's it. But this is actually pretty good. So we get into a lot of fights, which is kind of insane. We got the best thing. We got the best thing. One of the person from The Good Place is, and this is amazing. One of the people from The Good Place, from the neighborhood house, got caught in the sinkhole. So they're living with Eleanor, and they're a couple counseling, and they go in and said, "Hey, I feel like you're hiding something." And Eleanor's like, "Oh my God, I'm not hiding anything." And then the guy says, "Not you, Shitty is." And what she never noticed, and this is amazing, Shitty, first of all, is hiding something, but also she can be feeling guilty, because he can be feeling that even though what he's doing with Eleanor is good, he can also, this is such a good show, such a smart show. Shitty could be feeling guilty that what he's doing with Eleanor, kind of lying to everybody else, is kind of unlawful, you know? So he could be feeling guilt. See, we're talking about, and this episode started with what? With the greater good. It doesn't matter if you sacrifice a person to save 1,000 person, you still sacrifice somebody. So yes, he's doing the greater good by teaching somebody that deserve redemption to redeem herself, but at the same time, at what price, you know? Okay, next. So we see Tahani and her sister once again. It kind of sucks. This is super cool because Eleanor and Shitty have to act the perfect couple, even though they're not. And this is just good because even pretending is bad. You're being disingenuine with other people, and you're doing it to protect Eleanor. But again, what does Shitty get from that? You know? Eleanor says her first get basic, which is super, super, super good. Yeah, complaining about the dishes. Eleanor is such a fantastic character. She's such a bitch, but I love Kristen Bell. She's like, those dishes, this is a magic place. I put the dishes in the sink, and when I wake up, they're already done. And she's like, yeah, I've been doing the dishes. And then instead of saying thank you, she's like, okay, well, why didn't you do those dishes? Eleanor is very demanding, and there's not a lot of rewards in being with her. I'm just gonna say. Good. Yeah, Tahani goes out, and because Tahani goes out, she gonna get messed by the system. This is super cool. In the second episode, we see a guy who's completely disfigured because of the glitches. Tahani starts to get disfigured. Tahani will actually admit to be every single day. Every single day, dude. It's okay. It's 8:24. It's 8:20. Tahani actually admits to watching the. This is super cool. Tahani admits to watching the file, which is honest. Eleanor says, "Okay, well, I'm willing to make concession, but I want us to be both happy," which is really, really good because this, to me, is better of a proof of kindness than what Shitty is doing. Shitty is willing to sacrifice his own happiness for Eleanor to be happy. And Eleanor isn't willing. I'm trying to find out if... Oh shit. Shit la merde. We're not recording. God damn it. It's okay. Now we're recording. So yeah, so Eleanor and he is right in the right here. Yeah. This is super cool. Michael gives shit to Tahani because... And at the same time, Michael is in such a cool position because Michael knows everybody's secret. He knows everybody's life, right? Except for Eleanor and Jason, but still. So he knows why Tahani did what she did. And he gives her shit, and she's like, yeah, I saw the footage, and I felt bad about it. So I'm starting to forget here. Oh yeah, we're seeing that the parents give everything to the sister because they're rich, right? And she gave everything to the sister. So this is kind of sad, right? Which is really cool. I want to see the what Judy. Give me a sec. I don't remember what Edie was hiding. Shitty. At the end, we have Eleanor that does a really cool thing. She's like, listen, I'm going to give you this. And this is actually really cool. This is the episode, by the way. There's a couple things missing, but listen. I got this that I have to watch. It makes a sound that I didn't even notice. Fuck sakes. I got so much to do. And we are at 12%. Okay. So Eleanor gives Shitty a pass. She said, whenever you feel overwhelmed, whenever you feel stressed, you can take this pass and you're good. So this is super cool. Because Shitty is grateful. And that's just Eleanor making compromises with Shitty, which is important because so far she's not done a lot of them. There you go. So there you go. That's the review of season 1, episode 3 and 4. Love you guys. I gotta go. Take it easy. Be safe for watching, by the way. I love doing The Good Place.